individual sport known as the absolute gamble. Do you wager success in the hands of another, or cash in on fortune one and for all? Do you play at games of chance when folding is called for, or seek payoff worthy of riding out the hand? Do you view ultimate risk in the form of partners, or an oasis in the desert filled with reward? The challenge is set. The teams are chosen. Now we find out what kind of players they are. The ASA FMX Team Energy Cup arrives at Harrah's to deal winners and losers, but the riders are here to showcase for all.
Welcome to Harrah's Rincon Resort and Casino here outside of San Diego, California. Hi, I'm Tess Sewell along with Jimmy Coleman, Brad J, and we're here to bring you the new FMX Team Energy Cup. This is a concept where 2 teams of 4 are pitted against each other, something you haven't seen before in freestyle motocross. You're the representative for Team SoCal. You've got a great team here. You've got the Ox out here, new kid Robbie Adelberg. But what about Cameron Sinclair?
Well, Cam Sinclair, let's talk about him first off. He pulled the double back. He did that in December. He did it in Spain. So he's got the skills to make things happen. You also got Blake Williams, Bilko, in the mix as well. He won the Dew Tour, the first stop of Baltimore, then unfortunately was injured, but he is hungry, and that is why, Tess, Team SoCal will take down Team Nevada.
Oh, I like that, a little bit of confidence. However, what I'm feeling here, Team Nevada, I could talk about all 4 of my riders. I'm only going to pick 2 of them, though. I'm going to talk about Mike Mason, former X Games bronze medalist. He's got a deep bag of tricks. He's got lots of backflip variations. Mike's looking pretty solid. Then you got Matt Bighton. That guy's a firecracker. He's a Thundercat, man. He can get out there. He's got that go-getter attitude. He's got lots of backflip tricks. And that is why I think Team Nevada's coming out on top.
Well, you better bring your A game because
I'm bringing the A game, the B game, the C game.
I'm going to try keeping these guys apart, and meanwhile, we'll move on to the action.
Team Nevada consists of 4 riders. We mostly have native Nevadans and 1 California transplant, all residing in and around the greater Reno-Tahoe area.
We're Team Nevada. We got Brian Foster, and he's a very smooth all-around good rider. Looks like butter out there.
Brian Foster, I'd say, is a really naturally talented rider and lacks motivation. So maybe here we'll, spark him up. He's got to handle it for us, so we need him.
And we got Mike Mason, who has total extreme domination on the course.
Mason's known for his natural ability. He looks like he's never trying, and also extends his tricks really well.
Drake McElroy, he's just so pretty, he just rips it up.
He's like the style guy for years in the sport, everyone's like always praised his riding and like his trick extension and stuff.
Bighton, he's a step-up champion at X Games. He's been doing contests for a long time and pretty much knows all the tricks.
We got a good solid team, I know that all of us are solid and consistent, so we'll definitely be there in full swing and holding strong for Nevada.
What about Team SoCal? Cargola, Adelberg, Sinclair, and Captain Blake Williams. Slap happy and ready to rumble.
And then pop your collar, come on.
Team California has actually got 3 Australians on it, but we're all out here, living here at the moment and riding together, but still got a solid team, so we're good to go.
The guys that I'm riding with, I'm really excited about. We got Bilko, he's just a crazy Australian. The guy rips.
Bilko has been one of the best riders from Australia for the last 2-3 years. He seems to get all the big placings at the big events, and yeah, he's someone to look out for.
And then we got Robbie Adelberg. He's the new guy, the up-and-comer youngster. I'm really excited. I've seen the way he rides, and he's really eager. He's a go-getter, and I like that too. He's probably just going to put it all on the line. And you got Cam Sinclair. The guy is nuts. He's pulling double backflips. So best trick, I think we're going to be dialed in there too.
Ox, he's a pretty big guy with a unique style, so he's pretty cool.
Their team's a lot more experienced, they've been around for a lot longer than us, but it's got a whole bunch of young guys, so it's just, there's a bunch of wankers basically, I reckon.
Who pop collars? And if you feel me, let me hear you holler.
We've met the teams, now let's see how it all works. The seeding round is crucial. It determines the head-to-head matchups for the finals. Then comes the best whip and best trick competition. 1 point will be awarded to the team of the winner in each of those 2 heats. The final consists of 2 rounds with 1 point going to the winning team. A big factor though, 4 bonus points awarded for the best overall. This could easily level the playing field.
When you break it up and, doing a team contest is different than your standard type of contest. And, most people, if you're riding contests, you rode so many that it's nice to break it up and it makes it a little more fun, Throwing other elements in there, you look at it differently than if you were going to show up and ride like any other day, any other random contest.
My colleagues and I were talking about this freestyle motocross competition that we were going to involve ourselves in, and we're going to pursue it the way we've pursued our whole careers. We're going to come in hot. We're going to attack.
Teams event, yeah, it's the first time I've done one actually, as far as I can remember, so it should be quite interesting. It's supposed to be Team Southern California, we've got 3 Aussies on there, so we're just going to call it Team Australia, and which pretty much means we're going to kill it, because Aussies rule.
It's like the first time we've had to use strategy, because most of the time you're just kind of doing the thing by yourself, so I got to depend on my 3 teammates here to pull in strong, and it's going to be hard. I know the other team, they got a lot of good flippers and stuff, and our team, we're more laid back and here for the pool party, so I'm gonna need my guys to pull through here and do it good for me.
First up for Team Nevada, Brian Foster. This 27-year-old Carson City resident had a pretty solid run, but definitely had some room for improvement. Getting nice and extended right there on the cliffhanger. He ended up with a first-round score of 78.33.
Well, then next out of the gate was the 20-year-old sensation from down under, Rob Adelberg. Adelberg currently makes his bet in Temecula, allowing him to make his bones with Team SoCal. He had an awesome run. Tricks like that, the big kiss of death flip. Take a look at the extension there, and 90.83 for Adelberg.
Up next, it was another Carson City resident, former X Games gold medalist Matt Byton taken to the course for Team Nevada, getting fully extended over the bars, and right here with the switchblade backflip nets him a 88 flat.
The judges aren't paying attention then, because I thought my run was pretty good, so whatever. And Mike Mason coming up, so they'll pick it up for sure.
Try and figure out how many jumps to get in the 90 seconds with the weird layout of the course. So you don't get too many jumps, so it gives us a better idea now. But Robbie threw it down good, so way to fire off Team SoCal.
Following Byton for SoCal, the uber crowd pleaser Blake Vilko Williams. Like Adelberg, the Aussie makes his home in SoCal and Corona, about an hour's drive north of Harris. And look at the extension on all of Vilko's trick. Again, the big kiss of death flip. Look at those legs poking out there. Williams, a strong run, 89.33.
Drake McElroy was next up for Team Nevada, and he was throwing down some of those stylish extensions that his teammates were talking about. Didn't see any backflip tricks out of Drake. However, he did get good extension off the bike and was flowing all over the course. Look at the body there on the heart attack with a score of 83.33.
But next, it was Cam Sinclair. He lit it up for Team SoCal. Obviously, Adelberg isn't the only Aussie living and riding in the hills of Temecula and riding it to perfection, as Sinclair demonstrates here en route to a 93.67.
Team Nevada's Mike Mason is not holding back, especially with his verbal jabs.
You call that a good run? Is that what you think is a good run? I think that's horrible, and we got our team solid. We got 2 dudes flipping, 2 dudes just hanging out, living the good life, so we're all good.
Mike is one of the top FMX riders around, and as you can tell by that soundbite, he has the personality to match. He could have been a member of Team SoCal since he was born in Fresno, but nowadays he's just another Carson City boy. It was all over course with moves like that no-handed backflip. Good extension hanging on to that as long as he possibly can. 88.33 for Mike.
Last, but certainly not least, was a man known as Ox. Jeff Cargola, all 6'2" and 200 plus pounds of him, put on a display for the fans. The largest man in the sport pulled the largest score of the seeding round with a 94.33, and that put an exclamation point on a solid beginning by Team SoCal.
Number one right there. Number one, buddy.
Former X Games gold medalist Adam Jones was due to appear with Team Nevada, but due to injury, he is out. And looking at the seeding results, you can see that Team Nevada definitely missing Adam's presence.
I think Team SoCal has plenty left in the tank. You know, I'm really surprised I got first place right now at the end of the first round. I'm stoked. We got some good scores, and round 2 starting right now. I don't think anyone can touch us.
The desert air isn't the only thing heating up at Harrah's. When we come back, the riders are flying along with music and games at the FMX Team Energy Cup. The FMX Team Energy Cup, a part of the ASA Action Sports World Tour, is brought to you by Maxell, official sponsor of the ASA Action Sports World Tour. By ASA Entertainment, the leader in action sports event and television production since 1994. Visit asaentertainment.com. By Harrah's Rincon Casino and Resort, located in North County, San Diego. Visit harrahsrincon.com. And by BFD.com. The biggest names in action sports are on BFD.com. Welcome back to Harrah's Rincon. What could be more intense than a bunch of FMX stars throwing down with one another in a game of Top This at an oasis in the desert? How about the whole party? Harrah's Rincon is not only hosting the FMX Team Energy Cup competition, but kicking the party into high gear with internationally renowned DJ Paul Oakenfold on the Maxell music stage.
He's pretty much like the top of the top when it comes to DJs, so he's a pretty big deal. So it's cool to be able to mesh the two, the freestyle motocross, the concert, a little bit of gambling, a little bit of cocktails.
I'm pretty pumped for like the party situation here. It's cool like being right at the hotel with the pool there and our courses right here. So like we're basically just on like a little vacation. It kind of feels like. Whip is just gonna be so insane. We're just gonna get so flat on our dirt bikes, and we're gonna take this one for sure. Them guys have no style. They can't whip it at all, and we can whip it. I think. I hope. My teammates are back there. I hope they're getting motivated by this. So that's Whip in a nutshell.
Ah, the whip. Who doesn't like a good whip? All the riders had 90 seconds to pull up the best looking whip they could, with the winner taking home 1 point for his team.
Drake McElroy was up first for Team Nevada and using his style skills to his advantage, and that would bring up Rob Adelberg for Team SoCal.
And Rob Adelberg proving that it's not just boomerangs the Australians can throw, they can throw a mean whip. Right side up, upside down, it don't matter.
Now it's important to point out here that with Best Whip, there are no scores. It's basically up to the judges to decide who has the best style while trying to get the dirt bike sideways. And Brian Foster electing to get the bike sideways as well as vertical here.
Best whip contest, we sent out Ox and Robbie Alderberg because I knew that Ox has got a mad turn down on him, and he pretty much hands down do a bigger whip than everyone on the Nevada team.
With the skills he honed at the militia compound, Ox shows he has everything a whip needs. Turning that bike sideways. Take a look at this. A beautiful whip from Jeff Ox Cargola.
So Ox finishing off the best whip category, and right now we're going to take a look back at some replays and break down what makes the best whip here. You see Drake going for a variation with the knack whip. Brian Foster putting the nose down, getting the bike vertical as he gets sideways.
But this is the killer app, Whip 2.0. Take a look at that. The back wheel goes past the front wheel. Jeff Cargola dominating.
So Ox takes the Best Whip Award, and SoCal is first on the board with a 1-0 lead. Up next, the stakes get a bit higher as the riders prepare to battle it out in Best Trick. We doing Best Trick? What do you guys think? You guys want to do Best Trick?
I don't know what we're thinking, man. Best Trick's always been a hard one for us. You know, like we're not the one trick type dudes. We got a good mix. If that counts for anything, we got good regular tricks, good flips, so we'll be all right.
We got a game plan. It's just, yeah, act like we're not doing that good and then just stomp it when it comes time.
So, Best Trick. Each rider gets 3 jumps, and it's up to the judges to determine which trick they feel was the best. And the overall winner's going to walk away with 1 point for their team.
Blake Williams coming out strong there with his super flips. And look at this, the seat grab Superman backflip from Williams.
Solid performance for Blake and showing a little attitude right there. He gives Mike Mason the roost at the end of his round.
Yesterday, I was doing some big tricks, but not very big. That's all right. And he's gone now. He's just a bit bitter that he got smoked.
So Bilko obviously having some fun out there on course, ribbing the guys. Mike Mason starting it off for Team Nevada with an off-axis backflip. And look at this, style and extension with the holy grab floating to the back of the bike there. Mike giving it the thumbs up, and right here with the no-handed backflip, stretching those hands off the grips and hanging that one up for as long as humanly possible.
Mike Mason did look very dominating in that round. Such powerful tricks, great extension. Then Cam Sinclair, the Aussie, came out with a fairly weak Shaolin flip, snap kicking the feet through the bars there. Then he pulls out the big stuff. Take a look at this. He does the no-hander to side saddle lander, and then that, the Saran wrap to knack-knack flip. 2 tricks in 1. Wow.
So as things heated up in Best Trick, it all came down to Matt Byton for Team Nevada. You can see the guys having a good time down on course in the pits. Byton right here with the Indy flip, giving it the scissor kick while upside down. Getting fairly good extension on that one.
So breaking it down, Blake Williams does the seat grab flip. And then Mike Mason from Team Nevada, a huge no-hander flip. But this, Cam Sinclair with the Saran wrap to knack, 2 tricks in 1. That had to be the winner.
We're killing it. We're winning. We're down at the competition, first place. I think we're pretty unbeatable. The tricks are going to get bigger. We're going to get a little crazier, but hey, who can beat us?
I got something to say about the remark. Obviously, yeah, they were judging Best Trick. You know, those guys had a couple good flips. If you go off style, making a dirt bike look easy, and good-looking dudes, we had this thing.
Ox and his Aussie imports are looking smooth early on, adding Cargola's best whip point to Sinclair's for Best Trick, and Team SoCal is up a sweet 2-zip. Speaking of sweet, Harrah's Rincon offered up a sweet setup and even sweeter time for the athletes. This crazy game of chance could have easily gotten out of hand in these surroundings. World-class restaurants, gaming tables, an entertainment theater, and let's not forget the pool and spa, which were all at their fingertips.
This event is one of the coolest things I've done. Steps away, we're at a great casino, Harrah's Rincon down here in San Diego. We got the most awesome pool setup. There's cabanas, there's bars, there's music. It's like a resort atmosphere with a contest going on outside, and you know, you got the best of both worlds. It's one big party.
2 nights of pool parties, it could get a little ugly. We do got to perform the next day, and it could be a little rough, but I got faith in me and my guys that we'll be responsible and, you know, be in bed early, like 3 a.m. at least, and we'll be up and good breakfast and ready to ride.
Stick around when we come back, the finals get underway. Welcome back to Harrah's Rincon outside beautiful sunny San Diego and the first of its kind ASA FMX Team Energy Cup, with Ox grabbing Best Whip honors and his teammate Cam Sinclair nailing down Best Trick. Team SoCal holds an early lead on Team Nevada, but there's still plenty of risk and lots of reward as we head into the final round.
Those guys are definitely riding good, so hats off to them, you know. I mean, I got respect for every single one of those guys, and I don't know, we're just out here having fun.
You know, it's the luck of the draw with the seeding, so wherever you end up, we end up.
The other guys, their team's like kind of half and half. They got some Australians and they got some like California guys, so you know, they're gonna have to do a little like bonding, if you will, and we're already there. We're a step ahead of the game.
We're now set for the finals. Even though Team Nevada's down 2-zip, they may be down, but they're definitely not out. Everything is up for grabs here in the finals, including 4 points for the best overall score of the entire round.
Well, Team Nevada is missing Adam Jones. He's out due to injury. Drake McElroy comes in. But this is a team of experience, and that wisdom is definitely going to help them on a tight technical course like this.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cocky. They've been walking around with their chests all up, you know. There's no reason for that, man. We're just here for some good fun. Exactly. I'm just kidding.
So the first matchup here has Team Nevada's Matt Byton going up against Team SoCal's Rob Adelberg, and Matt Byton is on course for 90 seconds. Tess, you mentioned a tight technical course. There's only 4 jumps on this course here.
Well, it is very, very tight, and you come off these ramps, you hit the landing, you got to hit the brakes almost immediately. But a guy like Byton, he's used to riding in all kinds of situations. He's also used to the pressure. Remember, he's an X Games gold medalist. He's no stranger to this kind of pressure cooker. Byton put out a good run. Adelberg has a lot to answer.
Good extension, lots of backflip variations. You saw how long he held that last bar hop trick to Shaolin, stretching that one out for the max amount of time, and here floating to the back of the bike with the rock solid. And it nets him a score of 88.67 to start up the finals. Up next, Rob Adelberg, but before we see his run, earlier in the day, Rob took some time out to show us what makes these bikes so unique and how these guys set it up to do this style of riding.
First modifications we really ever done to our bikes, and we've seemed to do for years now, is cut the seat down and cut some grab holes out here, just so we can put our hands in there and do Superman seat grabs and double grabs, rock solids, all the tricks that come about by grabbing onto the seat. Then from the seat we move up to the handlebars. I've got some pro taper bars that give me a bit of room to get my feet through and back through. And then we've got these levers here, which is for backflip tricks like backflip Superman or backflip heel clicker, cord overs, double cans, just basically so when you do a backflip, the bike's going to be going backwards like this, and it hooks onto your arms and takes you around with the bike, so you and the bike stay together and hopefully come around to land it. And from the levers up here, we move down to the front here, which this is a steering damper, and so the steering doesn't shake around on you. It's nice and tight. It's hard to move around. It definitely helps for the bars staying in center position, and yeah, easy to find the handlebars when they're nice and straight. The other basic thing we do to our bike is stiffen up the front suspension, and it's just mainly for the hard landings that we have to take off the big 75-foot jumps, and also stiffen up the back spring. If you go a bit long off the jump or you come a bit short, it's really harsh on your body, so have the suspension nice and stiff so our bodies don't take a hiding.
So there you go, the young gun talking you through the setup of the bike and what they have to do to those things to sort of survive out there on a course like this.
You know, Rob Adelberg's been a big surprise this weekend. He's a protege of Robbie Madison. He's actually living at Matto's house in SoCal right now. And I think everybody's shocked at just how skillful he is, how many tricks he has. And take a look at that. He does a holy grab to one-hander and even a little bit of a scissor kick the Indy air behind the bike.
Combo moves and good extension nets him a score at 91.33. He wins the bracket and takes a 3-0 lead. Next matchup has Cam Sinclair going against Drake McElroy, and Drake's kind of hoping that the lifelong friendship between him and his teammates are going to propel them onto the scoreboard here soon.
I've known those dudes since I was like 10 years old, really, and team talent over here that we're up against. I don't really think, you know, they might have some background, but like they might have met each other yesterday. Who knows?
Well, speaking of yesterday, it was only yesterday that Drake got the call to be in the competition. Adam Jones injured and out. But he looks to have shaken off a couple of years of mothballs and is riding really well. They always call Drake the style meister. Look at that. The trick he invented, the dead body, just beautiful extension. He really is an absolute picture to watch.
Hanging way off the back of the bike with the flatliner. He's got his work cut out for him here because he's going up against another one of the Aussie transplants here, Cam Sinclair.
And Sinclair starting it off strong with a transfer. This guy has such huge combos.
Pressure's on a lot more than riding when you're just by yourself. You know, if you stuff up, then you're gonna get yourself to deal with. But now I've got 3 other teammates to deal with, so it's gonna be pretty hard.
So Cam definitely feeling a little bit of pressure riding as part of a team, but as you said, Tess, he's got insane combo moves he can throw down here.
One of the things I like about Cam Sinclair is just how extended his tricks are and the unique tricks he chooses to do. He does them unlike anybody else. Look at that. That's the catwalk. We've seen that one before, but he's doing it upside down. And his no-hander tricks, he does them with the hands backwards, suicide style. Wow, he's a great rider.
So despite the tight course, Cam Sinclair looking good, and it nets him a score of 90.67. He wins this bracket, and right now, Tess, Team SoCal has a 4-0 landslide lead. For Team Nevada, it's down, but it's certainly not out right now. When we come back, we turn it over to Mike Mason. Welcome back to the ASA FMX Team Energy Cup here at Harrah's Rincon Resort and Casino. Team Nevada trying to dig out of a 4-0 deficit, and Mike Mason is leading that charge. Before we see his run, he's going to talk us through the finer points of one of his favorite tricks in this week's Trictionary presented by BFD.com.
Today I'm going to take you through the trick. It's called the Holy Grab. It's basically where you come off the ramp, take both your hands off the bars, float like you're Superman above the bike, and then grab onto our little cutouts we got back here and pull yourself back on before you land. With this trick, I try and just hit the ramp just like I would any other trick. You know, I like to get like good pop off the ramp, which means as I'm coming off the ramp, I'm springing with my legs to kind of jump off my bike. With this trick, I kind of like to come off and do like just a regular standard Superman, which was an old trick back in the day. And I'll do the Superman, get my lower body into position, and then once I feel my legs are up in a good spot, I'll take off with my hands. My deal with this trick, I kind of like to take my hands off and leave them off as long as I can. So, you know, the crowd, if they're not paying attention, they're sipping on a beer or something, they still get the whole trick. I'll hold it off as long as I can and then kind of spot my landing, and once I know I'm getting to a close spot to it, I'll grab onto my grabs and then pull back onto the handlebars and ride her down. With the Holy Grab, it's actually an easy trick to adjust to, and I think that's why I like it. You know, like ramps are different, sometimes dirt lips are different, and you can kind of do the trick off anything. So, you know, if I come off and like say the front end of my bike's a little high, I just keep my hands off a little less time because I got to find my grabs are a little lower under me. Or if I come in and my front end's down, you know, it'll kind of hit me in the chest and I'll grab on it. It won't look as cool, but it's still one of those tricks you can always kind of get off. With this trick, the one thing I've always feared is because I do try and hold it out so long as I'm going to come back and just miss my bars or something, because I'm still on my grabs when I'm, you know, just a couple feet above the landing. So I'm trying to pull back and I'm pretty much grabbing onto my handlebars and getting my feet onto the pegs right as I'm landing. So if anything was to go wrong and I miss my foot peg with my foot or miss my bar, you know, it's not going to be good. It's a good trick for all you guys to learn. Just don't do it better than me.
And remember, you can check out all this action and more at BFD.com. See the scoreboard here. Team SoCal with an impressive 4-0 lead. However, that can all change right now with Mike Mason.
Get every angle, because we're going to need help.
The reason that could change is because there are 4 points up for grabs for the rider that has the highest score overall here in the bracket round. So Mike could tie this up right now.
Look at how well Mason is riding. He knows he's got to pull out all the stops. Big whip flip there from Mason. And that's a really nice turn down whip.
Going for the no-handed backflip. We saw that earlier in the best trick portion. Check it out. Getting the hands completely off the handlebars. Good extension on that one. And there you go, the Holy Grab. We just saw it in the Trictionary. Mike making it look super sweet here.
Can you even fathom how long he spends off the bike on that Holy Grab? It's like you said, nobody should ever try that at home. They shouldn't even try it here.
Yeah, if you fumble that grab, you're going down 91.33, the highest score of this round so far.
Now everything's looking good so far. It's kind of tough with the 90 seconds and the two ramps to figure out what's going to score better. So, I don't know, it seems like my teammates are really killing it out there, and we got the lead.
So Mike Mason just puts down the highest score of the round, but he's got to do battle up against this guy, Blake Williams.
Bilko is so smooth when he's on his game. You saw that big jackhammer he did. Cliffhanger, toes hooked under the bars, the fingers reaching to the sky. That was textbook. Another big Indy flip. Look at that, a scissor kick of the legs while he's upside down. Bilko's had a lot of injury problems, but he certainly looked comfortable this weekend.
Looking comfortable. Another thing to point out, he's the only rider out there on the course riding a 4-stroke here this weekend. Again, with the combo move there, Tess.
Lovely double knack, the double can Indy. Bilko is looking very, very solid here. Look at this. He holds the fend of the suicide-style no-hander backflip.
Taking a page out of Cam Sinclair's book by taking the hands and putting them completely behind him on the no-handed variations. And here again, great extension by Bilko.
Well, I think the Aussies have got a different way of doing things. And look at that, on that short approach, 45 feet, pulls off a huge trick.
And it's not enough. 87.33. Mike Mason takes him down. And now Team Nevada is on the board 4-1. Now keep in mind that the highest score of the entire competition is going to get 4 additional points. Final bracket in round 1, Brian Foster going up against Ox, aka Jeff Cargola.
Well, I think Foster has a pretty tall order. When you look at Foster, he's been riding a long time. He's got some great style. Look at that lazy boy. Stretches out nicely over the back of the bike. But he doesn't have the big flip tricks that Ox does, so although he can do that switchblade pretty nicely, and he's great at that jackhammer, just wait until the Ox gets on the course.
Yeah, Foster definitely has his work cut out for him here. Walks away with an 80 flat, which is going to be tough going up against Ox.
The part about this contest that I really like is the team strategy. It's going to give us a chance to not be so cutthroat. When we're going to a normal contest, like say Dew Tour, X Games, those kind of deals, we're all friends there, but at the same time we're looking out for our own interests. We're like thinking of how we're going to attack the course in our own way, and you know what tricks we're going to do off of certain jumps. We're not going to tell the other riders. Here though, it's like a riding with buddies. You know, we got 4 guys on a team, and it brings a whole nother aspect to riding dirt bikes. It's fun again.
So right now, the high mark to beat for Ox is a 91.33 and starts it off with a switchblade flip.
Oh, wow, that was so cool. He does a big tsunami. He bends the legs when he's up above the bike there. And here, the seat grab flip. When you're Ox, you're 6'2", you're a big guy. When you make big extensions, they really get noticed. Look at that, a flatliner from Jeff Cargola.
Gets his body completely vertical, gets the bike sideways, and going for the short line right there. You got to hit the binders as soon as you come down on that landing. Otherwise, you're going straight into a barricade.
So another good poked out. He's trying to go there for the kiss of death. I think really he got more of a super flip in. So Ox actually can do that trick a whole lot better. And a nice whip there, ending off the run for Cargola.
You can see Bilko getting rather excited with his teammate there. Why? Because Ox just laid down a 92.67 to win this bracket, give Team SoCal another point, and looking comfortable with a 5-1 lead.
I definitely felt the crosswind. The wind's been pumping up a little bit. We've still been doing what we can.
4 bonus points are up for grabs. Nevada's down, but not out. The final when we come back. Welcome back. We are set to start round 2, but before we get to the action, we had a chance to catch up with Blake Bilko Williams, who's got a bit of a firecracker personality.
What's up, Holmes? I'm not thinking about riding. I'm still punching myself in the face about how much money I lost to blackjack last night. And empty pockets.
Not like a casino last night.
That's what happens when you gamble.
Bilko, he's just a crazy Australian. I mean, the guy rips.
My eyes glazed over. Are they shut? Yeah. Uber Marietta, Cam staying with me at the moment. That's about it. That's my life pretty much there in a suitcase. I haven't been in one place for more than a month this year, you know. It was Australia, New Zealand, Australia, now here. I'm about to go back to Australia and then come back over here again later in the year. A lot of hotels, a lot of living out of the suitcase. It keeps you real busy. See that shadow in the light up there? That's my hat. As far as riding goes, I'll figure that out when I put my helmet on, because that's like your riding brain when you put your helmet on.
He's actually the only guy out here riding a 4-stroke, a 250F, which is kind of cool. It's given him an advantage at different contests, but I think it'll work to his advantage here as well.
You don't sound too hot today.
I don't feel too hot. Do you feel hot?
Oh, mate, I am hot. Have a look. No really strategies for the head-to-head. I mean, it's all what you want to do against your competitor. I mean, you can go there and go stupid, but if you don't have to, there's no point. You just need to do enough to cover your opposition. Like I said, we got Team Nevada covered. Who are they?
When Bilko rights himself, his next challenge is going to be Matt Byton.
We're going to ride hopefully good, and then that'll put pressure on them, and then they'll make a mistake, and we'll be on top. I like that.
Kicking off the second and final round was Team Nevada and Matt Byton trying to make sure that Blake Bilko Williams checked out for good.
Well, Byton coming out strong again for Team Nevada, but the wind is starting to play havoc. Look at this, the bike going sideways on the landing. Even a guy as skillful as Byton is having a hard time keeping this thing going in a straight line.
You can see how far he drifts off to the right when he takes off for each jump here. So Matt Byton still trying to give it a go here. That one-handed Indian air.
Well, really a surprise that he's trying a lot of these tricks. Even in this flip, look, he goes long, trying to make sure he doesn't kind of kiss the top of the landing, and there decides, what is it, the better part of valor, that he shouldn't try the trick?
And playing it safe right there hurts the score. He ends up with an 84.20. So the straight jump definitely hurts the score, and that's bad when you're going up against a guy like Blake Williams.
Now it's going to be interesting here to see what Bilko does there, going for the one-hander flip. You know, without this win, that was probably going to be a no-hand flip. Obviously, it's playing havoc with all of these riders. So far, Bilko looks really strong, though. Just take a look at that.
Well, he seems to be having a little bit of a better time in the wind. He seems to be landing pretty straight on the landing as opposed to what we saw out of Matt Byton. He was kind of drifting off to the right, and good extension there with the double grab Indy. Wind not really seeming to be a factor right now for Bilko.
I am surprised at how big his tricks are. Big extension there in the jackhammer. He hooked the feet underneath. That's a pretty risky trick when the wind is blowing at you. I can only imagine the wind's a little bit lower for Bilko than it was for Byton, and the score's showing it.
He ends up with an 89 flat. He takes this bracket, and that now gives Team SoCal an impressive 6-1 lead.
I just put a B run together, used some simpler tricks because I knew it was a little windy, so just want to make sure I didn't dead sail, and keep the tricks basic so I can get them fully extended out there, not trying them too hard. That's going to mess up in the wind, but come out all right.
With the heat squarely on Team Nevada, would Brian Foster wilt under pressure or flush SoCal's Cam Sinclair from the table?
Well, this was a good run for Foster. He definitely got the extension in his tricks, and he didn't seem to be as bothered by the wind as some of the riders had been earlier on.
And it's a tough matchup for Foster because Cam Sinclair's been throwing down the combo moves and the big backflip variations. Speaking of that, there's one right there with the knack flip. We talked about that one earlier in the show, and there you go. The knack flip grabbing the heel of the boot.
Well, that's so incredible. We don't even have a name for that trick yet because nobody else does it. Just take a look at this. He's good with the grab tricks the right way up. But the most amazing thing, how comfortable he is, like this side saddle on the bike. There, he's doing the single can-can upside down.
And much like Brian Foster, Cam Sinclair does not appear to be affected by the wind at all here, Tess.
Well, you see a little bit there as he's got the hands behind him in the no-hander flip, and very strong there on that Indy flip. So no doubt in this matchup that Cameron Sinclair was the much stronger rider for Team SoCal. And there you see it now, 7-1 for SoCal with Cam's 91.67.
Here's a soundbite for you. I'm way better than all these guys put together. That's really all I got for you. Do I get to go ride now?
You do get to go ride now.
Atta baby.
So Robbie Adelberg having a problem in his run with the wind. His run wasn't completed, and he got a score way down in the 70s. So now it's up to Mike Mason to try and get that high score and give Nevada the extra 4 bonus points.
Starts it off with the off-axis backflip there. The door is basically wide open for Mike right now. If he wins this bracket, given that Rob Adelberg has a low score, he'll get a point for that. However, if he can post up a big enough score, take the highest score overall of this comp, he's going to get 4 bonus points to bring Nevada within 1 point of Team SoCal.
You saw a very disappointed Rob Adelberg there, and, you know, all props to him because going in this wind has to be tough. But Mason is pulling an unbelievable run so far. It's like the wind isn't even blowing. He's pulling every trick in the arsenal. The question is, can he pull the big let-go trick? Because that's the one that would be really scary when the wind's blowing sideways and the bike decides to detach from you.
And we talked earlier about the holy grab air and how you can easily fumble the grab on that trick, especially in this wind. You see the tablecloths floating around in the background to give you an idea of how windy it is right now.
I've got to say, look at that heel clicker flip. He brought the feet together, but look how sideways he was on the landing. He's just not letting anything stop him. Big no-hander flip there to end it off for Mason.
And he wins the bracket. He gets the point. However, he gets a 93 flat. So that means as of right now, Mike has the highest score of the contest. Depending on what happens in this final bracket, that could give him 4 bonus points, Tess.
The amazing thing there being that that would put them within 1 point with 1 round left.
When we come back, it's time to throw in all the chips. Drake McElroy takes the ultimate gamble against Ox to see if he can pull an upset card for Nevada. The FMX Team Energy Cup, a part of the ASA Action Sports World Tour, has been brought to you by Maxell, official sponsor of the ASA Action Sports World Tour. By ASA Entertainment, the leader in action sports event and television production since 1994. Visit asaentertainment.com. By Harrah's Rincon Casino and Resort, located in North County, San Diego. Visit harrahsrincon.com. And by BFD.com. The biggest names in action sports are on BFD.com. It's all come down to this. Drake McElroy, who wasn't even supposed to be here, but came aboard when Adam Jones went down, he basically holds the key to Team Nevada's fate in his hands. A big run by him or a misstep by Ox, and we could be all tied up right now, Tess.
Well, this is really a big one for Drake McElroy. On any other day, I would give this to the Ox, but Drake knows how to step it up and when to step it up, and look at this. He's riding great so far.
And again, we talked about this before. The wind has definitely been a factor in this second and final round, and Drake just hanging way off the bike here with the big knack whip.
One of the biggest challenges for Drake, he does not have a big flip trick in his arsenal, and that is cost him. You see now an 85.67. If Ox makes a mistake, that could give it to McElroy.
Well, it all comes down to this last run. Basically, a win by Ox here, that's pretty much going to give Team SoCal the win. And Ox started off with an Indy flip.
Wow, that was a huge start for Ox. Look at that Indy flip. Perfect. A little bit sideways on the landing, though. Again, you can see the wind is playing it. Nice tsunami again from Ox. We saw that in the earlier rounds. Look how extended he is. That's amazing for such a big guy.
Especially in this wind, you saw how the back end kind of came around to the right on that backflip variation and an off-axis backflip right there. That one I have to wonder, was that kind of a product of the wind there, Tess?
Well, it looked like he was going for the grab. You saw the hand go down and he thought better of it because the bike was already going sideways.
Going into the short line there, last couple of jumps here for Ox, going for the one-handed Indy.
And that was a little messy again. I think maybe he was even going back, trying to reach for the boot to do the trick that he invented, the Oxecutioner. No problem there with the flatliner, though. He had that bike whipped so far out.
He needs an 85.67 or better to take down Drake McElroy. Nice extension there, getting the legs completely off the back of the bike on the super flip here. Check it out, holds it, points those legs out.
But again, look how far he was off center when he landed. He was completely sideways. Has the strength to pull it back, though. So a great run for Ox. Probably not as good as we saw earlier on, but again, the wind playing a big factor.
And he gets a 91.33, so he wins the bracket, gets the point, and that ultimately gives Team SoCal the win. However, Mike Mason did have the highest score of the round, and that made the win only by 2 for Team SoCal.
The weekend itself was a blast, man. I hung out at the pool, you know, listened to a bunch of techno. I still feel like my heart beating in my forehead from all like the bass coming out of the speakers. It was a good weekend, man. It was a lot of fun, you know. The spin was cool. It's kind of cool to get out of the standard, you know, 90-second 2-run format, and we just all kind of had some fun with it.
It's a good weekend, awesome time. You know, a bit of a relaxed atmosphere. The team contest was kind of a bit different to the individual one, so you know, you'll get together and have a good time.
I won big on the bike. I lost huge off the bike. The casino claimed quite a bit of my money. I thought I could win. Didn't win. I guess I'm a dirt bike rider. I'm good on my dirt bike, and I should stay away from the tables.
All 8 of the riders.
So the first ever FMX Team Energy Cup is in the books, and what a great event it was. Gotta say, Team SoCal had a fantastic event. They really hung it out there, and unfortunately, the guys from Nevada are gonna have to do some serious thinking when they come back next time. But off the bike, well, everybody had just as much fun as they did when they were riding, and I have to say, everyone here at Harrah's Rincon Casino and Resort really went out of their way to make sure we all had fun. We look forward to bringing this thing back here again next year, and I tell you, there will definitely be another FMX Team Energy Cup, so make sure you join us.
That officially wraps it up for us here at the Harrah's Rincon Casino in San Diego. To find out more about the event or the athletes that were here, you can check it all out at BFD.com, as well as Trictionaries and behind-the-scenes clips. We thank you for watching. I'm Jimmy Coleman on behalf of myself and Tess Sewell. We'll see you next time.
How you doing, guys? Audio good? Camera?
What? Sweet.